So, how does a bullied kid from South Africa, a kid who literally taught himself how to code, grow up to build rockets, create cars that change the world, and become the richest person on the planet? Well, this isn't just a success story. It's the story of a mind that just operates on a totally different frequency. To really get who this guy is, you have to go way back. When he was just a little kid, his cousin told him she was scared of the dark. And his response wasn't, "It's okay." It was pure physics. He just said, "Darkness is only the absence of light." That right there, that's the first glimpse we get of this incredibly logical, almost computer-like brain that would go on to try and solve some of the world's biggest problems. All right, so let's start at the beginning. Pretoria, South Africa. From a really young age, Elon was, well, he was different. He would just zone out, staring into space, completely lost in his own world. His parents were so worried they actually had his hearing checked. But it wasn't a hearing problem. His mind was just like a supercomputer, constantly running these complex simulations and visualizing incredible ideas. And his learning curve was just vertical. He gets a computer when he's 10. By 12, he's not just playing video games, he's coding and selling his own. It was a space shooter called Blaster, and he made $500 off it. Even then, he knew America was the place to be. So by 17, he gets himself to Canada, one step closer to his goal. The ambition was just off the charts, right from the start. But being that different came with a heavy price. His logical, almost robotic nature didn't exactly make him popular. He was bullied, and I mean horrifically. At one point, kids threw him down a flight of concrete stairs and beat him so badly he had to be hospitalized. Instead of breaking him, though, it seemed to forge him in fire. He just retreated into books and code. He famously blew through a 6-month programming course in just 3 days, basically without sleeping. That's where he built this insane capacity to endure pain and just keep pushing. So after graduating from UPenn, Elon was ready to go. He and his brother Kimball packed up and headed straight for Silicon Valley, right as the whole internet thing was exploding. And this is where the story gets really interesting, where he makes his first million and gets his first taste of a major, major betrayal. The idea for their first startup, Zip2, was so simple it was genius. Basically, let's take the yellow pages and put it online with maps. But the execution, that was pure relentless grind. Elon coded around the clock. We're talking sleeping on a beanbag in their tiny office, while his brother Kimball pounded the pavement, selling this thing door to door, business by business. And boy, did that grind pay off. In 1999, right at the peak of the dot-com frenzy, the computer giant Compaq came along and bought Zip2. Elon's cut? A cool $22 million. He's only 27 years old and he's already a multimillionaire. I mean, he could have just bought an island and retired. But no, he was just getting warmed up. Musk took that $22 million and immediately went all in on his next big thing, X.com, and his vision was massive. He didn't just want to do online payments. He wanted to completely upend the entire banking industry. His biggest rival was a company co-founded by Peter Thiel called PayPal, which was much more focused. They were burning through cash trying to beat each other, and pretty soon they realized they'd both go broke if they kept it up. So they merged. But that merger, it was a disaster waiting to happen. Musk was dead set on the X.com brand, but pretty much everyone else, including the customers, preferred PayPal. And his management style, well, people called it ruthless. He was a micromanager who'd demand that projects that should take weeks get done in a couple of hours. The tension finally boiled over in the most dramatic way you can imagine. While he was away on his honeymoon, the board staged a coup and fired him as CEO. But here's the twist. Even though they kicked him out of the CEO chair, he was still the single largest shareholder in the company. So when eBay came along in 2002 and bought PayPal for $1.5 billion, Elon walked away with an absolutely staggering $180 million. He lost control of the company, but he ended up with a massive fortune, a fortune that he was about to bet every single penny of it on dreams that were literally out of this world. Okay, this next part of the story, this is the make or break moment. After suffering the devastating loss of his firstborn son, he did the only thing he knew how to do. He threw himself into his work. He started 2 brand new, incredibly ambitious companies, SpaceX and Tesla. And by 2008, both of them were on the verge of complete and utter failure. You have to understand the pressure he was under. He had sunk his entire $180 million fortune into these two companies. It's 2008, the world economy is collapsing, and both of his ventures are just hemorrhaging cash. I mean, everything he had worked for, everything he had sacrificed for, was about to go up in a giant fireball. He was fighting a war on two fronts, and losing badly on both. On one side, you have SpaceX, his dream of colonizing Mars. It had three back-to-back launch failures, with just enough money left in the bank for one final shot. On the other side, you've got Tesla, which was burning through what little cash it had left, and was just weeks away from going bankrupt. The heartbreak started with the very first Falcon 1 launch. For about 25 seconds, it was pure joy. And then, a fuel leak started a fire, the rocket spun out of control and just slammed into the ocean. Total failure. A year later, they try again. This one goes a lot further. 3 whole minutes of perfect flight. But then, the second stage engine cuts out too soon. The rocket starts to spin faster and faster, and another failure. Another rocket at the bottom of the sea. And then, the third attempt. A tiny error this time, but it was enough. Another explosion high up in the atmosphere. 3 launches, 3 spectacular failures. Millions of dollars turned into scrap metal. There was only enough money left for one last try. So with his back against the wall, what does Elon do? He pushes all his chips to the center of the table. He's selling his personal McLaren supercar, scraping together every last dime he has just to fund this one last launch. This was it, a true all-or-nothing bet. September 2008. The 4th Falcon 1 rocket sits on the launch pad. It lifts off. The first stage separates perfectly. The second stage ignites. But in the control room, nobody is cheering. They just watch, barely breathing, staring at the screens. And then the words appear. Falcon 1 has reached orbit. The room just erupts. They'd done it. SpaceX became the first private company in history to put a rocket into orbit. And the payoff for that impossible victory, it was immediate, and it was huge. Just a few weeks later, NASA calls. They saw what SpaceX did, and they awarded them a $1.6 billion contract to fly cargo missions to the International Space Station. In the blink of an eye, SpaceX went from nearly extinct to being the future of American spaceflight. But wait, what about Tesla? It was still on life support. Elon was personally calling investors, begging for money. And then, on Christmas Eve 2008, literally hours before they would have gone bankrupt, he secured one last-minute funding round of $40 million. That was just enough to keep the lights on and deliver the Roadster, which proved electric cars could be sexy and fast. But it was the Model S, a few years later, that really changed the game. It won Car of the Year and showed the world that an electric car could be the best car, period. So, from the absolute ashes of 2008, Musk didn't just survive. He built an empire that would go on to reshape entire industries and make him, for a time, the wealthiest human being on the face of the earth. I mean, just look at the scope of this. SpaceX is landing reusable rockets and planning a city on Mars. Tesla became the most valuable car company in the world. And that's not enough. There's Neuralink trying to put computer chips in our brains, The Boring Company digging tunnels under cities, and now he's diving headfirst into artificial intelligence and social media with X. The guy isn't just predicting the future, he's trying to build it piece by piece. Of course, that kind of relentless drive doesn't come without controversy. There are endless stories about the insane work pressure inside his companies. His takeover of Twitter was followed by huge layoffs. His own tweets can cause stock markets to swing wildly. And when you combine that much wealth with that much influence, it naturally raises some really tough questions about power. So it all leads to this one central question about Elon Musk. Is he this brilliant innovator, single-handedly pulling humanity into the future? Or is he a modern-day titan who has simply acquired too much power for any one person to have? You know, you can love him or you can hate him, but the one thing you absolutely cannot do is ignore him.